Welcome to MagicGatheringStrat. This is Dom doing another Theros H4 draft. Yeah, Theros. Not the most exciting, I must confess. I mean, Triple Theros is coming to an end shortly, and I'm not especially sad about it because yeah, the format has become kind of stale, but I think that's true for every format. That doesn't say this is a bad format. It's just what happens with about any format. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to add Born of the Gods to the mix. I'm gonna do some set reviewy kind of things, but I have plenty of other things to do, like cube and Zendikar drafting. So this will probably only happen after the pre-release, which I will also, where I hopefully will also get some more insight. So going straight into the pack, I think there are two clear cards to compete here, namely Thassa's Emissary and Ember Swallower. Let me actually do this because some of you guys said that you like that, and make this a little bit bigger. So yeah, I think Ember Swallower is better than Lightning Strike, but I think blue is better than red. So this is basically what I have to decide between. I think I'm gonna go with Thassa's Emissary. I think the card is worse than Ember Swallower, but I really don't like red at all. So this is kind of so my view on this whole thing is kind of twisted, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that red is the worst color, and I just never really had success when I was red, except for like the ultra aggro red white decks. So here the pick is between, for me, Grey Merchant of Asphodel and Keepsake Golden. It's kind of a bummer that these two cards are in the same pack, and both are probably the best and second best card in the pack. But I think we can't really do anything. Since we can't really do anything about it, we're just going to go with the way better card. I think while Gary gets much better in multiples, Keepsake Golden is just way too strong. I think it's probably the best uncommon. Better than most rares. I think there may be 5, 6 rares that are better than Keepsake Golden tops. So I really like the card a ton. Looking at this pack, nothing really insane. Like some solid cards, Triton Tactics is okay. There's an Akron Crusader deck around, but as I said, I just never have success drafting red. Read the Bones is probably our pick. Last Breath is decent, Triton is decent, but yeah, just go for Read the Bones. Little old blue-black control action. Ooh, this is sweet. Lots of good cards for us. There is Sip of Hemlock, which is expensive, especially when you're drafting Zendikar, which I did a ton, and with a lot of success, humble brag. If you're drafting Zendikar, if you just compare this to Hideous End, this is laughable. It's like half the mana. Doesn't kill black creatures, but half the mana, and it's an instant. It's just ridiculous. The main question here is, can we actually wield this Shipwreck Singer? Excuse me. So yeah, the main question is, can we actually wield this Shipwreck Singer? And if we can, we obviously would like to pick up some of the other good blue-black cards. But I think Shipwreck Singer is good enough that I don't really want to risk it. Don't know though. I think I will pick Disciple or Sip of Hemlock because we're more likely to be black than blue if the Shipwreck Singer wasn't here. But I just think the card is good enough to pick it up early. Which now seems like it was not the wisest of decisions. Here I think we're going to decide between Freak's Mend and Scholar of Athreos. We haven't really passed anything sick in white or green, so both of these are options. Just thinking about whether which chances are bigger, us ending up in like black white or green white, or which one would we rather splash. I mean, they're both okay splashes. You just also pick the ordeal, but I don't think with what we have so far that this ordeal is going to be very good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Farika's Mend. This might be wrong. Scholar of Athreos is really good. And here it's pretty clear, foil Omen Speaker over Omen Speaker. I like Omen Speaker a lot. It's just one of the best defensive 2-drops you have because it's card selection and all that. Traveler's Amulet can help us splash the Farika's Mender, so we are gonna pick that up. There's nothing really else in the pack. I mean, this is a decent sideboard, this is okay. Sometimes I end up running that one main board, and Thassa's Bounty is just pretty much unplayable, I think, in this format. So yeah, good old Amulet, and we get a Sip of Hemlock's 8th pick. Who knew? This guy's pretty good. Not sad to get, not terrible to get this 8th pick. Gonna go for Fell, Hype Minotaur or Gainsay here just because there's decent mainboard cards. And you can always pick up reasonable sideboard cards and Gainsay. I mean, it's never insane. It's always just gonna 1-for-1. And yeah, so this guy we could play mainboard, and he looks kind of cute. Looks like a mad cow, which he is, in a way. So yeah, apart from that, Farik's Mender or that shipwrecking it, which we could have tried to wheel. I think this is pretty straightforward. You could have argued to pick the Ember Swallow over Thassa's Emissary, but yeah, if I mean, it's not often that I just completely refuse to draft a color, but it happens sometimes, and most of the times it happens to be red. And the other people on the table seem to agree with me, since there are 3 pretty good red cards still in the pack. Just gonna go for the Steam Augury here. Maybe we splash it, who knows? Well, probably not. But we'll see. So yeah, it's not very often that I just rule out one color completely, and if it happens, it's mostly red, like in M12 that was, where we really only had Lightning Bolt, and the next best card was like a 4-3 for 4 or something like that. It basically was a format where you had Lightning Bolt, which was probably best card in the format. It's the same thing here. I mean, Lightning Strike is a very good common. It might be the best common in the format in a vacuum, but I just never had success with red, just very rarely. And most of the times you can profit from the fact that everybody hates red. In this format this is possible, but just in case that someone thinks the same way, you just end up fighting for red, which already has not enough playables most of the times. Kind of go for Unknown Chills here. Yeah, then you basically just end up fighting for the worst color, which is pretty bad. Diamond Hopes I still don't like as much as other people in my group or pros or whatever, but I gained some respect for the card. I don't think it's stone unplayable, which I thought it was before. So yeah, Caterpillar Plus we hopefully don't have to play. I did play him before. It's not the actual worst card. It's pretty bad though. It's close to being the actual worst card. So yeah, let's see. A Hero's Downfall. Okay. Not only is Hero's Downfall worth a fair amount of ticks, it's also pretty clearly the best card in the format. Just 3 mana unconditional removal spell, instant speed even. If that thing wasn't here, I would probably pick. Yeah, I would pretty clearly pick the Aerobuster's Emissary, or maybe even the Lightning Strike to splash her together with the Steam Augury. But yeah, since we have Hero's Downfall, and it's also value and all that, yada yada. So this one is actually interesting. We could go for another Roman Speaker, another Return Phalanx, or a Vaporkin. So we're going to pick up a 2-drop here. The question's just which one fits our deck best. And I think it's definitely not going to be Vaporkin. Because if there's something that we're not going to do, it's attacking with cheap guys. This is pretty much a control deck. So the choice between Return Phalanx and Omen Speaker, and I think I'm gonna go for Omen Speaker. I like the Phalanx a fair amount, but the Scry 2 of Omen Speaker and the fact that we don't have a Gary yet is kind of pulling me in the Omen Speaker direction, and I just like the card a lot. So here we can decide between Eidolon, Sealock Monster, and Present Chimera. Let's look at the curve again. So we do have a fair amount of 2-drops already, and not 1 5-drop, maybe 2 if we want to splash this. So I could see picking one of the 5-drops, and if we would, I would probably pick the Sealock Monster, because I think it's a little bit better than Present Chimera, but I just like Eidolon way too much. I mean, come on, it's hard to argue with Reekmo. And another Roman Speaker, so we have the early game pretty much covered. What is this Wings Rider still doing in here? This is just ridiculous. But yeah, so we don't really have to play Stymied Hopes, I don't think. Freaker's Cure, always welcome. One of the better removal spells, just because it's an instant, it deals with like enchantment things, and it's also like the thing that you want to have early on. I like it way more than Flash of the Whip. I actually like Freaker's Cure and Sip of Hemlock, and maybe even Viper's Kiss. Viper's Kiss not necessarily, but I really don't like Lash of the Whip, because it's like in this middle region where it's too expensive to deal with aggro things, and still not big enough to deal with like an Estinasp. So I came way down on Lash of the Whip. I still think it's a good card, and we'll probably never cut it from a black deck, but I just came way down on it. What is going on here? It's Wingsteed Rider is still in the pack after like 5 cards gone. And a Dauntless Onslaught. So white was way open. I think we are going to decide between the horse and the Chimera. I do like the horse. I also do like Chimera. And we could splash it off this together with this. This is actually tough. How are we gonna win? We don't have that many flyers. So at some point we would have to attack through the horse. Chimera is pretty good though. I'm really not sure about that, but I'm gonna pick the Chimera and hide the Steam Augury, and also hide this Unknown Jaws. I really want different kinds of fixing. Unknown Jaws can help you to fix stuff in a pinch, but I like Traveler's Amulet way more. Unknown Jaws, with Unknown Jaws, the problem is basically that your spells cost 1 more to play, and this is just never good. I mean, if you play this on turn 5 and this on turn 6, they're still not terrible, but it's still way worse than if you would cast them on curve with like an amulet that you sacked a few turns before. I think Probe with Kicker is a decent card, pretty undervalued. I get it late pretty regularly, and I think in the right matchup this could just completely blow a game out of the water, blow someone out of the water, because you cursion him, take his best card, and you get to cast it. So he's down 1 card and you're up. He's down his best card and you're up his best card. So this is sort of a very twisted kind of mind control that costs 1 million mana, but you're still taking his best card and use it against him. So it's obviously bad against aggro decks, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to start with it in the main. This kind of depends on how a deck looks in the end, but I definitely think that you should pick this card up if you can, just in case you play against another slow deck, and then it's just one of the better things to have. This is a very late Scholar of Athreos, but we're probably not going to play that. How likely is it that we play Rescue from the Underworld? We have these Omen Speakers that have come into play effects. We have the Farik's Mender already. We have no Grey Merchant, which is sad. And we don't want to splash the Scholar probably because we already have these 2 green cards. I think it's between Rescue and Gainsay, and I'm just going to pick Rescue. If we pick up a couple of more nice interactions with Rescue, it's going to be something to consider at least. Here I'm going to go for the Unicorn, just because we maybe want to splash green. And Viper's Kiss, while being okay, I don't hate the card. I didn't like it at all at first, but now I don't hate it, but just the fact that we have some green cards that we might want to splash makes me more likely to run this Unicorn. I normally don't run the card at all if I don't splash, because I just think that a 3 mana 1/2 is highly unimpactful, and the fact that you ramp is not always that huge. Gonna pick up a Coastline Chimera here just to have something that blocks, and the other cards are basically rubbish. So this looks decent, not like awesome. I would give it like a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10 so far, but we have some good cards. We have the Gorgon is pretty good, that one's very strong. These two, this is very good, Shipwreck Singer is very good. Farika's Cure and Eidolon are all solid. Yeah, I like how this deck looks so far. Blue wasn't as open as I thought it was. So was black, but we kind of had to expect that after passing a Grey Merchant. It's just what happens. I'm still not sure about the green. I mean, we'll see in the end. If we have enough solid playables that we don't have to run green, I'm gonna like tend towards not running it. But if a deck lacks like impressive, like lacks punch, basically like power cards, we could always play them. And I'm gonna pick up another Unicorn here, just in case. I don't know if I will play 2, but if we pick up 1 more splash card or even like that, we might as well play 2. Charlie here. Peak Eruption doesn't bother us in the slightest. So does Boulderfall. I'm just gonna pick the Wheel. And the Raptor. Sure, why not? I'm not gonna run that main board. But it's an okay sideboard card against certain decks, like the flyer decks without heroic stuff, if something like that exists. Or we could also activate the Chimera second head with the help of Charlie, or the Charlies. This is a sideboard card, but it's an okay sideboard card. I mean, in grinding matchups, this is pretty decent. Gonna go to GP Paris in 2 weeks. Just to mention it. I'm gonna play Legacy. I don't have good results with Legacy. My Legacy history is pretty black. The last time I played Legacy at a GP, I went 0-3 drop, which might have something to do with me not sleeping at all the night before. Really should have been white here. It pains me to pass this fabled hero. And we don't even have anything great to pick. I mean, we're gonna pick the second Rita Bones, but 2 Rita Bones is kind of the maximum, the max amount of Rita Bones that I want to play, just because they can get really painful against aggro decks. So there is even an argument for just hate drafting the fabled hero. But yeah, but well, whatever. We're gonna lose against fabled hero at some point. Wow. Isn't that worth like some amount of ticks? Just let me quickly make sure. I'm gonna pick it for sure, but I'm just curious. So yeah, it's worth like 6.5 ticks. So if people really want to give me money, I would gladly accept it. Plus it's a reasonable card in a deck. It's not insane, but we have a couple of Omen Speakers. So yeah, pretty happy about that. Here the pick is between Insatiable Harpy and Vaporkin. I think the Harpy is just always gonna be better in this kind of deck. So I'm gonna pick it, even though it's not insane in our deck, because we don't have any bestow cards except for that one and that one. Yeah, I still think it's a fine card, just on its own, but it's way better with bestows. So I'm trying to say. And here we're gonna pick up another idol. Wow, this is like the 50th Phalanx leader we see. This is insane. So the white drafter is probably gonna win this draft. We just hope that he fails to draw his good cards and loses in the first round. Gonna pick the Lash of the Whip here. At this point, I don't really think that we're gonna have to run the green, but with this Burnished Heart, this might actually change. Because I'm not gonna pick up a third Rita Bones. I think this is just way too many. And Burnished Heart is okay. That's just like a guy that does some things. We're gonna cut this Rescue from the Underworld now. And I also don't think that we need the Coastline Chimera. Omen Speaker number 4, Sealock Monster, Dark Betrayal. Let's see, do we actually want the Sealock Monster? It's pretty good with Master. And it's a big guy and it wins games, which is something we don't have so far. So yeah, let's just pick the Sealock Monster. It's a decent card, and it's an octopus, that's always nice. Me being aficionado of the Ocean EDH strategy. Gonna pick the Mnemonic Wall here. I don't think we're gonna end up playing it because we have like 1, 2, 3-ish, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we actually have a lot of spells. We might even play it, but it's just a little bit too slow. So let's see, how does this deck look without the green splash? We're like 1 or 2 cards short. But the mana is just going to be way more solid and we don't have to run like crappy cards. Not sure if I like this more than with the green splash. Might have to consult with my roommate at some point. I'm going to pause during deck building because I think deck building is going to take a long time. I'm just going to build the deck and then go over the decisions afterwards. This Master of Waves is looking not at its best, but still pretty decent. Master of Waves is also something you can get back with Rescue from the Underworld. It's pretty sweet, but we're not currently running the Rescue, but we could, especially if we don't end up running green. We might as well put it in. It's sort of combos with Mnemonic Wall. It doesn't really because it exiles itself, but yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, here we basically have nothing. I'm just gonna go pick a second Unknown Shores. And second sip. I like a second sip. It's always nice. So I think at this point it's actually pretty likely that we don't run the green. Yeah. I think I like this deck as it is. I think it's strong enough to not ruin the mana by running green. Or ruin the mana, just make the mana worse. It's not going to be disastrous, but definitely worse. Oh, Viper's Kiss is okay. So is Benthic Giant though. We don't know what I want here. I think we have about enough cards to win the game, and we have like 1 early removal spell, so a second one cannot be too bad. As for the Wanderer, just as always in the sideboard. So yeah, not the best draft ever, but not the worst one. Pretty satisfied with how the deck turned out. Obviously we should have been white, but we kind of didn't realize that until it was too late. But well, what can you do? Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video really quickly, build the deck, and then I'll be right back. So this is what we ended up with. I chose to run 18 lands, just because we had these like 6 drops. This guy needs 7 mana to do stuff. This costs 7. This asks you for 5 and as much mana as you can have, basically, to turn cast it. Also, like Read the Bones, you want to be able in the late game to cast this into more stuff. So I think 18 lands is okay in this deck. The card me and my roommate weren't sure about was Viper's Kiss over like Burnished Heart, because Burnished Heart is still okay in this deck, even though it doesn't. I mean, it fills out a 3-drop, which we don't have a lot right now. I mean, I kind of messed that one up here, but we only have like one 3-drop guy, and it can also just ramp you into more stuff, which is always decent. But we chose to run Vipers just to have something against like all the Vaporkins that I've seen. And we have the Farika's Cure and the Siren, but apart from that we don't have that much against flies, and our ground stall is pretty okay as it is. I've decided against the green cards because the power level, while it is high, it's not insanely high, and I don't think it's worth it to run into mana problems just for like a splash. The cards that we considered putting in the main deck were Stymied Hope, Assault, and Chimera. Chimera for the same reason, that it does something against flyers. And now that I think about it, I'm actually gonna cut Viper's Kiss for Chimera. Huh, this is interesting. I mean, I kind of do the same thing, but Viper's Kiss is just more flexible, so I'm gonna leave that one in. See colors. I think this is 10-8 in favor of black. No, 12-6 is definitely too much. So yeah, this is the deck. Let's see how it goes. Make this one a little bit shorter. I don't know if I'm gonna leave that during draft, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the video and see you guys for round 1. Round 1 action here. Won the die roll. I'm gonna play first, of course. Yeah. I recently read an article that people just keep way too many 5-land hands, because 5-land hands is a 5-land hand is basically making it so that every land you draw after that is pretty much dead. I mean, this obviously depends on the format. In Zendikar, a 5-land hand can be perfectly okay if you have enough landfall. And this is even a 6-land hand, so there's no way that we're gonna keep that. So let's mulligan. This is worse. This is way worse. Do we want to go down to 5? We don't even have double blue. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a bet, but I think this hand is just way too few business spells. Yeah, this is okay. I mean, this. Oh, I have to cube a peep stop still in. I mean, this basically just asks us to draw a island, and then we're okay. Let's show some politeness. He already shows it first. There was the question recently: if is it polite to say good luck and have fun? I don't really care. I really don't care at all. I mean, if they do it, I'll do it back. Okay, I mean, I don't want to be rude or anything. I'm playing against the white deck, which is already bad because we know there's an insane no white deck around. So I don't know which one I want to lead with. Let's just lead with the Shipwreck Singer. It's worse if it gets killed early on, but it has a high chance of being able to attack, and he also has the chance to just eat one of his guys. In like a corner case scenario. And we don't really need to draw into any lands, or non-lands, with this Omen Speaker. So I'd rather have some more information before I decide to put cards on bottom or on top. Play against Mr. Gapstery. Yeah. Gapstery. Don't know what that means. Do know that this is a good card. And I also know that mulligans to 5 on the play are pretty bad. Lots of things I know. What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay, I see. But this kind of just dies against this, right? Does that mean that he had like an ordeal or anything or something? Let's just play the Omen Speaker and see what the future has in stock for us. It has another Omen Speaker and a Viper's Kiss. Right now I really don't want the Viper's Kiss, because one toughness creatures we're going to deal with just fine, I think, with Omen Speaker and Shipwreck Singer. I'm going to put that on bottom. I'm not sure about the Omen Speaker though. I think next turn I'd much rather just play the Harpy or just leave up the Shipwreck Singer, so I'm going to put that on bottom as well. I know that this makes it more likely that we draw lands, but yeah, I think most of the times people are too timid with this Cries. And Omen Speaker is okay, but we already have one out, and it digs us deeper into other cards. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But I mentioned it before, I'm a pretty intuitive player. I try not to be as much as I am, but I play Magic for a long time. Not really competitively for a long time, but they're just... This goes into the direction that you should save your mental energy on the hard choices and stop thinking about the easy ones. It sounds pretty much basic, but some people sometimes forget that. Here I think we're just gonna attack with probably even both, because we win the race pretty handily with the Insatiable Harpy. So yeah, we might just attack with both here. We're gonna get hit back by this Bronze Sable, but that's okay. You might even trade a Pump Spell for Omen Speaker. That would be acceptable too. Yeah, he does. Okay. Not sure about that. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I'm happy that the Pump Spell is gone, but as it seems, we probably wouldn't have interacted with his stuff anyways. Now I need to take this one back up. See where he puts the cards. Or the card. Puts it on top, so it's something he wants. Probably just a land. So now we're just gonna play the Harpy and pass the turn with a 1 card in hand against his 6, which is always a nice place to be. Yep. Mulligans to 5 on play, and their disadvantages as demonstrated right here on MagicGatheringStrat, where you learn more about magic. So now he's going to hit us with the Bronze Sable, and he's going to probably hit us with the Bronze Sable next turn without even wanting to. This is the first Sable in Magic, right? Just had to. It's like this dorky creature types like Sable or Anteater or Brushwhack. We really only have one. I think there's only one Brushwhack. There's no like greater Brushwhack. Now that I said it, that would be the most wicked Modo handle of all time, like greater Brushwhack. Yeah, that would be my new Modo handle if I got a second account, or if I would start a new. I would call myself greater Brushwhack. Yeah. So now he has 3 mana. It's black-white. My favorite deck. I like black-white aggro a lot. Not just because Tom Martell won the GP with it. I'm just a sucker for the 1/4 guy, the Scholar of Theros. Really think the card is amazing. This is the best he can do with 3 mana. So he probably just has a bunch of weenies in his hand. And chances are pretty high that he has another Pump Spell or some way to deal with this Shipwreck Singer, because on table, Shipwreck Singer next turn is just going to trade with both of his guys. I would attack. Just a tip. Yeah. So Sable it up. Yeah, I think I want to play around him having a Pump Spell. So I'm not going to block with the Shipwreck Singer. I'm not going to block with the Shipwreck Singer. This is just asking for trouble. I mean, if he has a Pump Spell, he could even use it to save this. Which would be okay. I mean, at least we got a free count out of it. Even if we take like a couple of damage, like 5, or we have this harpy to gain us some life back. But at some point we want to stop drawing lands. Now putting this Omen's Peak on bottom is gonna maybe come back to bite us. But who knows? And he is going for... What will it be? What will it be? It's a Return Centaur. That's acceptable. Do we have anything that interacts with the graveyards? Because most people just blindly mill their opponents, which I think is a mistake. I think he pretty clearly should mill himself. I mean, he shows us more of his deck. That's a downside, but it's a marginal downside. Yeah, he does mill us, even though we're black, and black has stuff to do with the graveyard. So this is a mistake, if you ask me. He got both Sips, the third Omen Speaker, and an island. Okay, that's acceptable. We do have a Mnemonic Wall, so now if we draw a Mnemonic Wall, we can actually play it and get back to Sip, which is something we could... And he did it before combat. Wow, okay. Yeah, he did it before combat. That's a huge mistake. Because now we're actually going to be able to eat both of his guys. No, we're actually not, because we can't make them both attack. But now we're actually able to eat the Fleshmat Steed without being afraid of losing the Shipwreck Singer. And this was pretty huge. So we block here, activate the other ability. And Humph. Shipwreck Singer doing some work here. I really like the card a lot. Counts for both devotion, it's cheap, does attack, does block, has very reasonable effects. I think it's one of the best multi-color cards. Uncommons, that is. Now we have the choice between using Shipwreck Singer next turn or cast Baleful Eidolon on something. I think I'm just gonna go with the Shipwreck Singer plan. I think this is worth it. I mean, the Eidolon is not gonna add anything to the clock, or it will, but only marginally. And I want to get some value out of the Shipwreck Singer while I can. So here I'm not going to block again, just because of the pump spell scenario. I'm just gonna eat up the Bronze Sable here, make the Return Centaur attack, which I probably don't even need to, now that I think about it. We're gonna do it anyways. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. Viper's Kiss A. Yeah, we can make both of his guys attack, which they are going to anyways, but no, let's just make this one guy attack. I mean, we can't use the Shipwreck Singer now. That changes things. So now we could bestow the Eidolon on the Shipwreck Singer to kind of mitigate the effect of Viper's Kiss, because we're gonna get value out of the Shipwreck Singer after all. We could also put it on the Harpy and just try to go for the races, but one more point of damage, even though it's lifelink, I just don't think that is gonna end up mattering as much as kind of try to get his board under control. And this way we can put the Eidolon on Shipwreck Singer and trade it away and still have to have the Eidolon as a 1/1 death touch. So now you know why they call it Shriekmo. They as in LSV. What is this? Oh, it's Happer. 3 or less, so that doesn't help casting the Eidolon here. Huh. Why wouldn't he attack with both? Yeah, of course he attacks with both. Okay. So, what would we do at best draw? Probably Thassa's Emissary. Thassa's Emissary would be pretty nuts. Or just a removal for the Aphros Warden. I would take that to get back in the race. Because like, right now we're losing the race to his mediocre guys, just because he has more of them. Oh, I scratch that. Yeah, I think this is just hands down the best play we could make here. So just attack with this. and then we can start trading away our tokens for actual cards, which is always nice. Boom. The master of all the waves. Why does he pump elementals? Why aren't these sirens or harpies or spirits? Could be spirits. Nah, I guess not. So yeah, time to surf. Now, I'm not sure about my blocks. I think I'm gonna... am I even going to block? I mean, we're on 20, and he's on 12. So he's the one who's under pressure right now. Except for if he does something huge now. And he has 2 cards in his hand and 6 mana. So the chances of him doing something huge are existent. It's not unlikely that he doesn't have something huge. What is this monstrosity? Yep. Been running into so many Elspeths lately, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Oh my god. Why? Why, Mr. MTGO? Why? Please tell me. Oh my god. This ain't even funny. Just do like mediocre card, mediocre card, mediocre card, mediocre, mediocre, Elspeth, win the game. This is so ridiculous. And even has the tapper. So he really doesn't have to care about anything. That is just the worst. I think we're gonna trade off a token here. Just because why not? It's not like we're the beatdown anymore. Ugh. Yeah, this is hard. This is hard. It's really, really hard. I think I'm just gonna bestow the Eidolon on one of our tokens, and then just smack him with the token and the harpy. And another thing, I'm gonna. It's about playing your lands. It's also where I think this is something that Paolo Vitor Damo de Rosa mentioned in a recent article of his, that people often get too cute with holding lands. So people would hold lands like for a long time, and make it so that their plays like read the bones into other things are just shut off by that way. So what he mentioned is that you basically shouldn't hold lands too aggressively, because holding lands is mostly done because you want to bluff. But if you're playing against a good player, and if you're holding like 2 cards for a long period of time, and then then you don't do anything with them, at some point it just becomes pretty obvious that you don't actually have anything, and that you're just bluffing tricks. And at that point, the downside of you bluffing lands versus the upside of you representing a removal spell or a trick, so to speak, it just the downside becomes way bigger than the upside you have by holding them. Meanwhile, to get back to the game, we're playing against the best card in the format, and we're getting beaten to a pulp by it, which is what you would expect against the best card in the format. But just saying. Yep. Good old LZ. Is that her nickname? LZ? It's a very German name, like LZ. Whatever her nickname is, well, look at her. That chick is just brutal. That chick's just business. Straight up business. So yeah, I don't even think that we have much to deal with this in our deck. If this sticks around for a couple of turns, there's just really nothing you can do. Makes this into 3/5 Death Touch. So you're gonna tap our Death Touch guy and attack. That would be awesome. That will give us the window to draw Thassa's Emissary and kill the Elspeth. No, he is not. So now are we gonna trade here? I think we might as well. It's not like we're gonna get through underground anyways. So yeah, let's just trade. We don't have Devotion for black in our deck, so this downside isn't really existent as well. Really like if we tapped it, then we would at least have an out. This is not an out, but this deals with his stupid Ephros Warden, which is already something. And he just straight up refuses to tap anything down. Not that he would have to. It's the fact that he does is kind of weird. He didn't use this Ephros Warden once. Not even end of turn. Yeah. I mean, we probably still gonna kill it with Lash of the Whip, even though he never used it. What? Now he does it? What is wrong with this guy? Good thing he has Elspeth. What is wrong with this guy? So Elspeth is gonna produce some more tokens, would be my guess. If he forgets to use Elspeth this turn, we can actually kill it. Not that guy as well. Ugh. Getting beaten by my own favorite. I still think we have to kill the Ephros Warden now that he has decided to start using it. Just because we have to do something against the Elspeth before it's too late. By the way, it was too late, like 2 turns ago. But just saying. Yep. 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 And yep. We could block with Master of Waves on the Eidolon. It's not like the Master of Waves is going to do anything. And it's basically just going to run into this or into one of his tokens, so we might as well trade with it. So let's just kill the Warden now. Oh, we do have a Hero's Downfall in the deck. I completely forgot about that. Why is there a Hero's Downfall if we need it? By the way, it's still way too late. Way too late to draw a Hero's Downfall. Way too late. Another Eidolon would be okay. Then we could bestow it on this and kill off the Elspeth and gain 3. We're still gonna lose to this though. Yeah, right now it's just way too late. If we draw something to bestow this, like a Thassa's Emissary, do we even attack him? And that's a possibility. But no, then he just Elspeths it. Then we have this 3/3 sitting around running into his 1/4. Just, by the way, quick aside. This is game 1 and he's on 9 minutes. Just a quick aside. This might be relevant. He really took him some time to win with his Elspeth. So yeah, Hope's alive. Hope is still alive. And his deck, if he doesn't draw Elspeth, doesn't seem too impressive. What are we going to board in? Or what are we going to board out? He has some Erudites, like 2/2s for 2. He also has some late game cards like Scholar of Athreos and like the Warden. Not really sure about that. I would have to have a look at the whole deck, like our whole deck. I can't really decide right now. The green, we could bring in the green cards. Could bring in the 1/5 flyer or the rescue from the underworld. One of these, but I'm not really impressed by this plan. I think I'm just gonna leave the deck as it is. I mean, this is what I'm saying now. I really don't know. Ordeal of Erebos, yeah, that was the deciding card. Ordeal of Erebos makes it so that we can't win. Oh no, all these soldiers. No, soldiers, don't. War is bad. War just makes people get hurt and things like that. Don't. No. All this war lust. All this warmongering. This is terrible. Where are we? In Palestine or somewhere? So much war going on. Let's block this soldier. Nah, let's block this one. This one looks way better. I wish we had this like an instant that gets rid of the Viper's Kid and just clean up his whole board. Make him start all over again. So at least the good news is that we're gonna get Elspeth. And the bad news is that we're a 10. Yeah. So let's see. We attack Elspeth. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're gonna go to 12. So I think we're just about dead. Like maybe even on spot. But there is no way I'm letting this Elspeth live. Not after everything that she's done to us. There's no way that woman can live. Let's see, we block one. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Block this, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're dead. Oh no, we can block one more. We have one more turn. We at least have one more turn. And in come the turtles. He's on 6 minutes 30 seconds. It's really low. I really think there's a huge chance that that he can't even finish game 2. Not to mention if we win game 2, I think that it's pretty much impossible for him to win the match. Block here, take a million. Huh. Wow, the coloring on this is pretty sick. Like the black-white split crown thing, headdress thing, and the dresses in general. This is a pretty sick picture. I never saw that she was flipping a coin. Yeah, the more you know. The more you know. So, we don't have anything. Let's not fool ourselves. But we're gonna make him go through this. We're gonna make him go through this. He will have to do some more clicking. Because this is all, again, like I mean, I don't think it's necessarily fair to play on time. I mean, if you actively play on time, like doing stuff just to throw your opponent off, I don't think this is necessarily fair. But I also think that, I mean, this is just bad clock management. Why does he attack with everything? I mean, we're in 3 life and we pretty obviously don't have anything. So whereas I think it's not necessarily fair to do that kind of stuff, that just make sure that on Magic Online you do have a clock. Just be aware of this fact. because it is a factor. This is why, like, you can't take infinite time to think on your plays. You can't do that in real life as well. This is why the whole thing with time play exists, and why you get penalties for it, because you just can't do that. You have to play in a reasonable fashion, and in Modo it's even more so, because you just lose if you don't. So yeah, let's just go over this really quickly. What isn't good against him? I don't even know. I don't see a card right away that we would want against him. Maybe just Diamond Hopes, because he hasn't seen it. And maybe the Viper's Kiss is just bad. Yeah, let's try that out. Put in Diamond Hopes for Viper's Kiss. It should be okay. Gonna play first again. This hand is a keep. Pretty clearly. Good old Shipwreck Singer Fell Out Minotaur combo. Sounds stupid, but it's actually pretty strong. I mean, you're gonna eat a fair amount of the early plays in the format you can eat with this 1-2 punch here. And he's on 4 minutes 25 seconds, so he really has to speed up his game. I don't know if he realized it. And this is also why, I mean, it's true that I do f6 through important things, and don't f6 while I have like a pinger up that could kill my own guy, that will prevent us taking 3 damage from like a Searing Blaze. Or no, it doesn't work that way, but it's true that I do that sometimes. But I just think that f6 is such an important tool just for clock management, that the times where you screw up, if you're too careless, get outbalanced by the times where you win a game because you know of f6. Because our opponent pretty clearly doesn't know about f6, or is just too timid to use it, maybe, or just doesn't have a sense for clock management, because this just can't happen. You can't take 20 minutes for a game. You will just lose. This is just a fact. So if you want to be competitive in Magic Online, please do me this favor and do work on your clock management. Not only does it make it awkward for your opponents, because now I'm pretty much sure that I'm gonna win this game because of clock, and we have to drag it out as long as it takes. But yeah, just you're gonna lose games because of this, and this is losing games ain't fun for anyone. For your opponents maybe. So do think about clock. Do have the clock in your head, and you learn that nowhere better than in Cube. Cube will teach you so many lessons about clock. Just like if you think that, oh, I might like do this whole sweet upheaval thing and run out this whole set. No, if you can win without doing this whole sweet upheaval things, then just win. Because clock is a factor. Simple as that. I might be repeating myself, but it's just the way it is. And I've seen many games end up like this, where the guy even had a way better deck than I had, and he had the game basically won if he had more time, and I lost many games, especially in formats that I don't know that well, or in the beginning where I didn't where I didn't know about the functions of Modo, how this whole thing exactly works. I lost many games. I remember one especially that was so painful. I played the Saga block draft, and my opponent had Worship, and if you know about Worship, it's basically a card you sometimes just can't beat. There is just, if you don't have, if he has like creatures with protection, or if he just has a lot of creatures and you don't have that many things, then you just sometimes can't win against Worship. And this happened to me, that my opponent had Worship out, and I drew my answer. I think it was, I'm gonna put these both on bottom, by the way. Nah, maybe I'm gonna keep a Swamp. Yeah, let's keep a Swamp, just in case. Anyway, so I had the Worship, he had the Worship, and I bought it in one forest and one of these green cycling disenchant things, and it happened that I drew the forest and the disenchant thing killed his worship, but I wasn't able to attack with all of my guys for lethal. I just had like 2 or 3 seconds less on the clock. So my brilliant cypher plan of boarding in the disenchant in another color and the land, just because I knew the game was going to take forever if he ever has worship, it almost paid off, except for the fact that I didn't manage my clock. And things like that happen like all the time. So yeah, this game doesn't, I mean, apart from the fact that he has 1.5 minutes left to play, this game looks pretty much in the bag. So let's read some bones, I think. I think we might want both of these. We don't really need a second island though. Yeah, let's just put the island on bottom. This on top. We draw a second island anyways, so let's just cast Omen Speaker and F6. Good attack with this, but I wouldn't attack with this normally because of Divine Verdict. There's just no need to. We put that on bottom, right? Yeah. There's just no need to attack really, because he might always have Divine Verdict, which he apparently doesn't have. But I think in that case, I mean, I basically gave up on this game a long time for him to win it. Because even if he had Elspeth right now, I mean, it would be harder to win the game, but I think we could still do, we could beat an Elspeth with this hand. And with him taking forever, and forever in 2 days makes the whole thing way easier. So now we're just gonna give this guy a nice old sip of hemlock. Yeah, enjoy. And swing with all these clowns. There's also another interesting notion about the F6 battle. Something I ran into in Cube. The F6 battle. This is just so yeah, this game is over because there's 0 minutes on the clock. So yeah. There's still a game going, so I'm gonna tell you about the F6 battle like at some point during this video, I'm sure, but not right now. Right now I want to pause the video and get a little convenience break in and see you guys for round 2. Round 2 action. So we want to die roll again because we're lucky like that, and I think we're gonna keep this hand. It doesn't really have anything that affects the board, so against certain kind of X's is really shaky, but overall I think it's an okay hand. So I'm not going to mulligan it. And we have a lot of 2-drops, at least 5 that we can draw, 6 even. It's like 3 Omen Speakers, 2 Baleful Outlaws and a Siren. So we have some things that we can draw. It's another white deck, wow. And we don't draw the 2-drop. So, don't know how to feel about this. This Psychic Intrusion, okay, it's that white deck. And we draw the 2-drop right on time. So now I actually don't know which one I want. If I want to cast the Omen Speaker to block, but I think this is pretty risky because he however, if he has a pump spell, he would not want to use it on this right now. He would want to use it in a couple of turns. And basically Read the Bones just digs for more. So I'm gonna go for Read the Bones. Casting Read the Bones now also allows us plays like Omen Speaker and Farika's Q next turn. So we're gonna keep both of these, I think. It's pretty obvious. Because we want to be able to deal with that. It might already be too late though. Not too late, but Titan Strength. Okay, so he's gonna come in for a lot. That makes me think that he doesn't have much in terms of a second guy. So now we could just go for Omen Speaker. I think he's representing a God's Willing pretty clearly. So I don't wanna go for Hero's Downfall right now. It's just gonna run into the God's Willing. I'm gonna put this on bottom, this on top. Just to next turn be able to play Omen Speaker and Hero's Downfall. So this turn I'm gonna block it if I can. Because he's gonna use the God's Willing if he has it. Or any kind of pump. No, not even. Okay. This is fine. So now we can cast a second Omen Speaker. And get some... Ooh! Hello. So we definitely want the Master of Waves. I think we also want to sip, but we want to play Master of Waves next turn, I think. No, not even. I think we want to go for Sealock Monster first. Hang on. It might have been better to do that in the upkeep. Storm Breath Trap. Are you kidding me? I mean, good thing we have this Hero's Downfall, but where is this gonna end? This whole madness. But we're holding on pretty well against like two of the best uncommons and one of the best rares. So yeah, let's just go for Sealock Monsterino here. And for a big old Master of Waves next turn would be my guess. Could also have just Psychic Intrusion him and see what's going on. But I don't think we really have time for that. I think next time we just want to go for Master of Waves and kind of swing the Bolt State around. Hope for Eidolon. Okay. 4/4. Oh yeah, we're gonna draw a Sip of Hemlock, of course. So let's just do that right now. I think this is gonna tilt him hard enough. And he didn't have the God's Willing, which we suspected. Yeah, now he's just way flooded. Should we use that right now and just go into race mode? This is going into race mode way more. Yeah. Yep. This has to be the correct play. Get some turtles and pass the turn. So yeah. I'm curious on how he's gonna get out of that. Not by a Stonechuck Giant, I don't think. We still have our trusty old... What's its name? Hero's Downfall. We're on 13 though. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11. This actually might kill us. Ugh. Yeah, this might actually just kill us. We could go for the Intrusion now. But I want to go for Omen Speaker first and see what I draw. And we want to land just so we can mnemonic into Hero's Downfall next turn. And we want to get his last card just in case it's like a pump spell. It is a Rage of Perforos. So let's exile this. And we could swing with some of our guys. But let's not. So now if he has... yeah, he would have to have a zero mana pump spell. And that just doesn't exist. So yeah. Still fine with that. This costs 8 to use Monstrosity. So if he plays something now, we could just shoot that with Rage of Perforos. He plays something really big. Oh, he just Monstrosities it, okay. And attacks us for 1,000,000. 8, 9, we got a 2. So now the question is if we... No, the question is not if we want to. He plays pretty clearly Mnemonic Wall into Hero's Downfall. We would wish to use that, yeah. And then just smack with all of the tokens for sure. For 10. We want to attack with the Omen Speakers too. We can attack with one of them. We can block Master of Waves on this. But we're gonna kill this, so we can attack with the second Master too. Five, 4, 3. Yeah, just thinking about if we... Ugh. Really? That's insane. Okay. Yeah, good beats. Don't know if we messed up at some point, but that was insane. The top deck lightning bolt. Ugh. This is just gross. We might have messed up. That's messed up at some point. I'd like to think that, because we had that game pretty much under control. That really sucks. Okay, yeah, never mind. These might be a bit too slow. Mnemonic Wall might be a bit too slow. But I don't really know what to bring in. We could bring in Stymied Hopes, just because we're going to be on play, and it gives us another thing to interact with his Crusaders. Maybe we really don't. Probably we probably really don't need the Mnemonic Wall. So, or the Psychic Intrusion for that matter. But yeah, it's too late now. We're gonna play first, of course. And this is a clear mulligan. This is no mulligan at all. This deals with a Crusader, an early one. This is horrible. I really don't know if we messed up. I really don't know. This is a very close game. And it was like one of these roller coaster games where you go from like, yeah, I'm so out of this, and like into, wow, we're probably gonna win this, to yeah, there's no chance that he's ever coming back except for him ripping like the best thing ever, and then he does, and then yeah. I don't like these kind of games. Except if I win them. So here we're not going to attack, I don't think. Question if we cast this Baleful Idol, but I want to cast the Idol on the Minotaur, actually. So yeah. This gets plus 2 with his first strike, so he really can't block. Perforos's Emissary, okay. That's something. He should have attacked with this before, I mean, really can't block. Stymied Hopes right on time. Now we could cast the Eidolon, because we can block Eidolon and Fellhide on Emissary, and he can only kill one. But I really don't want to. I want to take care of this with the Lash. And also keep up the Freak's Cure. Huh. Yeah, I think we should be one game up. Not sure, but how this game went, I'm pretty sure we should have won that. Even though this doesn't really do much, or it does deal some damage to us, I'm just gonna Stymied Hopes it. And hello, Hero's Downfall. You are very welcome. And we're gonna take 3 from that. And just downfall it right now. Because of like God's willing things. So now we have a million removal spells in the Shriek Maw. So this game looks okay so far. He has Dragon Mantle, but he also has 6 cards in his hand, so never count your chickens before they are chickens. I think Read the Bones into Pharika's Cure is a fine play. It's pretty safe. Yeah. Put this on bottom, put this on top. Draw another land, immediately kill this and swing with this because we can block with it. Next turn we can do the bestow thing. And a hero. And we're gonna take 4 here. It's also okay. Now the question is, do we want to do the bestow thing? I think we do. I think I want to wait until he plays some creature enhancement spells of his own to. I want to wait. Now he could have the dragon again. Yeah, it's probably what he does. Okay. That's bad, but not terrible. We're gonna just immediately deal with that because we don't really have a choice. And pass and hope that the rest of his hand isn't like insane. Oh, cavalry packet. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is very bad. This makes it so that we have to kill this with Lash of the Whip. Yeah. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because this is gonna kill us if we don't. play the Omen Speakerino into... I think this time I'm actually going to keep the second Omen Speaker, just because we can go Psychic Intrusion into Omen Speaker pretty easily. So now, as long as he doesn't have like any insane card to push through, I think we should be fine. Here's Flame Speaker right up number 2, which does somewhat qualify as a card to push through, but not entirely. So we're gonna start with this. Get a look at his hand. So he has Chain to the Rocks, Divine Verdict, and Anger of the Gods. Whoa, Anger of the Gods is pretty sick. Yeah, I think we're gonna take that. I mean, it does kill our 2 Omen Speakers, because I think we have to play the second one, right? Let's see. He can go Chain to the Rocks on this. We could also just take the Chain to the Rocks and use it right now. That would also be a possibility. But let's see. If he draws a pump spell, this is pretty bad, because then these 2 guys are going to survive it. But I think I'm going to take the risk of him drawing a pump spell. Yeah, I think I'm willing to take that risk. So now, do we cast the second Omen Speaker is kind of the choice. He would then remove this, and we will block with these 2 on these 2 and take like 3 damage tops. It's still okay. We still have 4. We still are in range, but yeah, I think I'm gonna take Anger of the Gods for sure. But I also think that we're gonna just cast a second Omen Speaker, even though it dies to Anger of the Gods. Now this way we maybe don't even have to block with this. So we keep this, put this on the bottom, and pass the turn. So please don't do anything that ruins us. Just swings with everything, which had to be expected. So we block here for sure. This is actually interesting. So now we don't even have to use the Anger of the Gods. We can just have it stick around, because we're gonna eat one of his guys here. We're gonna eat this. Eat this one for free. No, I think we're gonna use the Anger. Yeah, I think using the Anger is a little bit better. He has a Verdict. Oh, didn't even think about that. That's a cutesy play. Oh yeah, now his guy is bigger. It is a cutesy play. And he still has this. Oh wow, I didn't think about it at all, that he could do that. Now his hand is unknown card plus the thing, the Change to Rocks, which he's gonna use to remove this. And then yeah, let's just cast this right now, I think. So we're gonna pay 3. And get rid of this. Then we have these 2 to tussle with. Yeah, but we're still on a high life total, and he has at least one not really relevant spell. Because he can Chain to the Rocks, this is just not very good. But not thinking about Divine Verdicting his own guy even kind of makes me angry. This is a play that I normally should see, I think. So let's just get rid of this and start the beats. Boom. Yeah, we did draw pretty well, but yeah, not insane. And we had some minor hiccups by not seeing plays that were pretty much on board or on hand, which we saw. That was a pretty nice top deck. Good old Harperino. I'm gonna hold this for now. I think this is one of these situations where he can easily hold the land, as long as he, I mean, we didn't really have a possibility to use a trick in recent times. And I think he has at least one land too, still in his hand. Do we want to block here? This is gross. I don't think we can block. I think this harpy is way too important now. So let's swing. Viper's Kiss, not really the best draw here. Well, we're still fine, I think. Now we can play the land, because now we have a Viper's Kiss that we're never going to use in the near future. So he's offering the trade, which we're gladly going to take for his huge lifelinky guy. That was a pretty reasonable draw, because that's going to give us more other reasonable draws. Let's see. We do kind of want both of these. Yeah, I think we take both of these. I think we even gonna cast Read the Bones. I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, we're a healthy 6 life again. Gonna be at 8 life next turn, and he has 1 card in hand. I think this is okay. We could have killed this off with Viper's Kiss, just in case he has something to bestow on it. Okay, that's less good. And he kept the card on top, so he's drawing reasonable things as well. And we're gonna go Read the Bones. Ooh, yeah, we want both of these. Let's just cast both of these guys and this, and he already played 1 Portent of Betrayal. I don't really think that he has 2, but on the other hand, I don't want to attack for 1 damage and throw away a game that was pretty much over. So I'm not going to attack with the Sealock monster. That was kind of the thinking that I was going through that. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 8 mana, so we have 9 mana with this, so we can attack with the monster. Let's just, does it turn it into an island? No, only in addition. So we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna monstrosity this, turn this into an island, and swing with the old Octopussy. He's not even jumping. Wow. He must have like some ordeal action or something in his deck, which wouldn't be unreasonable for a deck with 2 copies of King Leonidas. Yeah, let's just eat that one up, or get a punch spell out. Let's see if he has to. Yeah, it still kills him. No, it exactly doesn't kill him. So yeah, let's attack with this guy. And I think now we can just Viper's Kiss. But then again, no, let's not. Let's just make this guy attack, block it, and then if he pump spells it, we can make it smaller. So this one has to attack. And we're gonna block. It doesn't do anything. We don't have to do anything. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I'm glad we won that game, because I still feel that we might have had to win the first one. This one kind of holds off a Stormbreath Dragon, now that I think about it, but so does Viper's Kiss. Viper's Kiss also King's Leonidas and all that kind of stuff, so I think the setup is still okay. And I also think the matchup is still okay. I mean, the games we played so far weren't, even though he played like very powerful cards, the games were not that much out of reach for us. The first one, this hand is just the second Read the Bones, which just makes it so much worse. And I mean, I know that we do have many 2-drops, but this hand just screams blowout against early cards. So I'm gonna mulligan it. with this too, unfortunately. This is more reasonable than the first one against aggro stuff, but just raw power level it's worse. So there is an argument of keeping the first hand, of course, now that he doesn't have a second turn 2 card. I wish I'd done that, but you can't look into the future, unfortunately. Yeah, this is pretty gross. But he doesn't have anything going as well, that at least. It's almost certain that he has a Stormbreath Dragon now. I mean, why else would he keep this hand? But these two... what? How is this even possible? Does he just have... Oh, he has Divine Verdict. Oh, I see it. Yeah, we should have played that before to see if he really has it. I'm pretty sure he has it. But we're already in combat, we can't change that, unfortunately. So let's just see what's up. And let's write down the cards. Just get something to write. And he did have the Divine Verdict, which at least comforts me a little bit. So he has 2 strength, 1 chain to the rocks, 1 verdict, 1 portent, and 1 plains. So what do we want? He has 0 creatures. This is kind of the big deal about his hand. Now we could get chain to rocks doesn't work, right? This enchant mountain you control, so this never works. So I think we just probably want the Divine Verdict over like the Titan Strength or the Portent. Portent is going to draw him a card, and the Titan Strength is going to hit us for a ton. But I think overall taking this Divine Verdict is just going to end up being better. So this is a bummer. If we'd done that before combat, we would have been able to attack and draw an extra card. Now he's pretty much certain just going to portent it and attack and then chain to rocks it. Would be my guess. Oh, he did draw a card. Okay. So now he has a Titan Strength, but we do have his Divine Verdict. And he has Portent, double strength, chain to the rocks, so we can easily attack with this. He really can't block. If he does, we can just verdict it. Okay. What is this all about? He knows that we have the verdict. I don't understand this. We're just even gonna fizzle. We don't draw a card, that's true. There's 1 strength, and he did play the plains next turn, yeah. Okay, so we have 1 Titan Strength, 1 chain, 1 portent that we know of. And portent down. He puts the card on top. He's drawing something reasonable. Well, meanwhile, what are we gonna do? I think we're just gonna attack with this first and see where this leads. Yeah, of course. Okay. So he has 1 Titan Strength and 2 unknowns. What? No legal targets for... Oh! Yeah. Didn't see that either. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, this is pretty sick. So now he has 3 unknowns. So we're just gonna smack with this. And draw a card. And we could go for... No, not for Zip of Hemlock. We could go for Master of Waves, which would give us 6 power. Which is okay, but I think we can get more value out of Master of Waves. I mean, we could try and finish this game way earlier than we are doing right now, but him having so few creatures just makes it so much more likely that we just win by out-attritioning him. So now I think we could cast the Eidolon on this and then attack, because he then doesn't have any blocks. That sounds reasonable. Yeah. Could also go for like Fellhide into Master of Waves after trading for, but then we won't attack with it. We're not gonna attack with this. So I think this is fine. We're on 17 and we're gonna gain 2 life, so it's okay, I think. As long as he didn't draw anything that scries. He did. Wow, that even. The third Titan strength. So he's gonna block. First strike it away. But we get this nice little Eidolon out of the deal. And we still, okay. So now we have to deal with this at some point. So we block here. Oh, we could have blocked this because we take equal damage and we're gonna blank this with Master of Waves anyways. Now I think we're just gonna sip it up. Yeah, this wasn't optimally played by us, for sure. There were a lot of things we could have done differently. But in the heat of the moment and in the heat of very, very weird plays on both sides, or very weird scenarios, like the no creature or pump spell hand, and yeah. Anyway, stop looking for excuses, just play better. We're gonna slam this down now. Don't want to wait forever. Let's just empty our hand. And he has like 1 card, 2 cards. I mean, it's not really a lot he can draw, I think. Yeah, that's true. We didn't play optimally too, so yeah. Off to the finals. And we don't even have to wait, because the finals are going to start right away. Yes, you're at least getting some inconvenient, or how do you say, unusual, that's the word, yeah. You really get some unusual scenarios in this draft. If something, and I really like the deck. My deck is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet, I would say. This video is taking for a long time. Let me just quickly, no, not even. It's mostly our opponent in game 1 who took like all of his time, which doesn't mean that the video is way longer, just because he used up his time very quickly. I mean, we were still on like over 15 minutes, I think, in the first game. So that one didn't take as long as it seemed. But this second game was pretty absurd. Or the second match, so to speak, was pretty absurd. All of the matches were pretty absurd. I mean, the first one with Elspeth was, yeah, I would call this absurd. Like casting Elspeth and then just casting like mediocre creature Elspeth, and then just win the game handily with like 6 minutes on the clock. Yeah, and this is pretty unreasonable. But this is Magic. This is how it goes sometimes. So what is a finals opponent likely going to play? We did play against red white and blue black white, so it's like probably blue green deck or another black deck. I'd speculate on a green deck. We haven't seen much green in the draft, so there's definitely people in green. This hand is a 5-lander, but we can get rid of every land we have on the top, or of most lands we have on top with the Omen Speaker. Another red deck. This is very interesting. We draw the 6th land immediately to punish us for keeping 5-landers, which you really shouldn't. Red Greed 8. You draw the 7th land. Yeah, this demonstrates nicely why you shouldn't keep 5-landers all that often, or at least way less than you think you should. And we're gonna keep both of these, so we were. I think we would have been much better off if we just mulliganed. So top, but this isn't too bad. I mean, at least we have the lifelinky Cardroy big Baneslayer wannabe guy next turn. If you know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, we're getting beaten to a pulp by this 3/3, which we could trade for Farika's Cure plus Omen Speaker. But then it's just gonna make running into a pump spell way worse. We could also block and do the Freak Skewer at the end of turn, but I think I'm just going to take 3 here. 2 turns in a row. I'm going to end up on 14, which is not very high, but also not that bad. Freak Skewer is not the best against green-red decks. But he didn't have a turn 4 play, so this makes things better already. I'm going to cast this, thinking about if there's anything with haste that we want to block with this, but I don't think so. Let's just swing. Magma Jet. Wow. Okay. Magma Jet is something. So that means that next time we might have to trade the Theros Emissary for this, which I'm not in love with. Ooh. This is gross. Now we can't even trade it because it's going to be a 5/5 and we only have 4 power. Oh, Viper's Kiss. We could trade like Viper's Kiss and Theros Emissary for these two, which I think we might have to. Let's think about this. I still don't think we want to do this, just because we have so many removal spells in our deck. And I also don't want to sack this for 5 life right now. We could still sack it for 6 life next turn. So I'm just gonna smash. Yeah, basically drawing water for 2 zips of Hemlock is just way better than trying to trade this off. Or one of our Death Touch guys or anything like that. I just think him still having 4, now 5 cards just makes it way less likely that we're actually gonna win by trading 2 for 2 here. Or 3 for, yeah, 2 for 2. And maybe not even, because he's green and red and has pump spells and yada yada. So I think this is the correct line. I could be wrong. Now we have some Perforos as adversary. This time I think we gotta trade 2 for 1. Like this and this. And now we're gonna smack with the Emissary for sure. Question is if we're gonna block here. I think we might have to, because if he attacks and has the 3 mana 4/2 haste guy, we will be pretty glad to still have a blocker back. Draw a card. Oh. Another swamp, just what we needed. So he's gonna smack again. Still, if we draw a sip of Hemlock, I think we're in decent shape. Oh, he's probably the one who got the Amber Swallower. Or he might be the one who got the Amber Swallower. Which would mean that he's sat to our left. But I don't really remember what I passed to my left. I can't remember things for more than 10 minutes. That's how my brain works. Is this a Nessian Asp? No. Ferrous Band Centaurs. That's also bad. Ugh. Yeah, okay. So this game looks over. With us drawing 4, 5, 6, and 10 lands. I mean, this is even keeping a set of 5 land, they're just drawing 5 lands and 3 spells. It's pretty unlikely. Nothing we can do about that. Let's just pick our chances. And I mean, he has 4 cards. It's pretty much it's pretty much certain that he has a removal spell, a pump spell here, and it's pretty much certain that he's going to use it. But I still don't think I want to block. So he's green-red with like beefy guys mostly, but also no deal. So we might take out the small removal. Boon Satyr. Even. Okay. So against green red, what do we have against green red? I've seen people boarding this in against green decks, but I still don't like it. Just because it's so mana intensive. Catoblepas looks interesting at least, because he has like 3/3s. And this can trade against 2 3/3s at some point. See if there's anything we don't want. Not even. This is pretty mediocre, but chances are he still has some small stuff, and this double blocks nicely together with the Nomus Peak and things like that. I think I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I can't think of anything that would be really broken. But mulligan. This is decent. See if we need this Baleful Eidolon on turn 2. Us having no creatures makes me think that we want to play this on turn 2. Yeah, I think this is correct. Could have waited for him to ordeal something, but then he would get him for a bunch of damage. Is he gonna magma? Yeah, he's gonna remove it, which is understand. Yeah, which I can understand. Let's read some bones. This looks pretty good. We don't want another land. Oh, it's looking even better. Now we can get Omen Speaker into Master of Waves. And conveniently, every time we drew Master of Waves, our opponent was playing red. Because, did we draw it in the first game though? Let's cast it like this, just to bluff for Reek's Cure. See what's up. What does the future say? We definitely want the Gorgon. We might also want the 6th land. But I don't think so. I mean, we have a lot of lands, and we should have thought about that before, of course. Because now, if we would have let's say we wanted the land, then we wouldn't have been able to have it because of the fact that we put the Gorgon on top first. Just gonna take 5 here, and then probably just Lash of the Whip it. None of our creatures is going to block that one profitably, so yeah, let's just get this out of here. And Smackadoodles. And an ill-tempered Cyclops. Yeah, that's going to be annoying down the line. But we have to sip of Hemlock, so next turn if he feels inclined to just put a bunch of mana into that, we can still sip it. So meanwhile we're just gonna play the Gorgon and pass. Still has 4 cards in hand. This is not none. We could block with the Omen Speaker just to take less damage. And we could also block with Gorgon just to trade it off and make him use his mana. This is interesting. Yeah, I think blocking with the Gorgon is actually okay here. Just because it makes him waste his whole turn. And we then get some tempo back. And we are 2 lands away from monstrosity-ing, from making this thing monstrous. Still don't really want to cast the Master. I'd rather have Rika's Cure up. Let's not F6 if we have Rika's Cure up. That just sounds like bad tact. Let's see. This with Master of Waves we can actually profitably block this. Question is if we want to do that, or if we just want to cast Master and then see what's up and then maybe kill this next turn. I think I like this better. So Master down. The Master of all of the waves. Yeah, we have mythics too. Wow, all that value. It's like value city here. So we're gonna take 4, which is acceptable. Still at 6, still at potential 8. And the Corsair. Corsair is kind of annoying. Because we can't attack again. But let's just sip it up and pass. And next time we can cast Harpy plus Cure. But Cure seems pretty bad against him, and the only thing we really saw in 2 games that it would kill is Boon Satyr. So maybe we're gonna cut the Cure. So now we're just gonna Harpy plus this, and then we could actually cure this away right now. Yeah, I think this is okay. Take out the F6. And then cure it up. Yeah, because this just kills him way faster if he doesn't have much going, which it doesn't seem like he has. I mean, he had 5 mana left and didn't do anything last turn, so he just has the removal. I think we can safely cast this, being on 8 life and stuff. We don't want this, we definitely want this. Intrusion, okay. Intrusion is kind of a blank here. He has 0 cards and he's going to slam anything he draws, but next turn he's just going to die, so that's okay. So yeah, the final game. Yeah, so as I said, Cure has 1 target so far, but I just don't think that this is really everything he has. I mean, he has to have some cheap things. Apart from that, I like Viper's Kiss because he has some monstrosity things. I really like the Eidolons. I like all of these cards actually. I could see cutting Varika's Cure for like a Stymied Hopes or Coastline Chimera. Might actually be an idea. Let's see. Yeah, this just way better against like his 5/5s, his 3/3s and things like that. This looked like a perfectly reasonable hand. Of course, now is the game where he will go turn to freaking, what's the name? Voyaging Satyr? No, it's not. Good. Good. Very good. So, Omen Speaker. Foil Omen Speaker. Doesn't that scry for 3? I think we want both of these. Yeah. This is looking like a heck of a Master of Waves hand. Let's cast another Omen Speaker. Keep let's keep both of these again. Smack with this. Next time we're gonna cast this. Turn after this we're gonna either have to use the removal or probably just play a 5/5. Because 5/5's kind of blank most of his things. Oh, okay, so Boon Satyr again. Well, he could have blocked this for free. I wonder why he didn't. This doesn't make much sense to me. We're gonna take a bunch. We're gonna like take like 11 damage from this, but then we're gonna stall it up. Let's see if it's gonna be a 6/4. So if we block with both of these, he can actually only kill 1. Oh, never mind. Never mind. So my plan is just to let this attack, hope he doesn't have anything awesome to follow this up, and then just lash it. We're gonna go down to 9, which is not a lot, but yeah, you know, card advantage and things like that. And getting more tokens out of Master of Waves is never bad. Okay, this changes things. So 8 something reach now. So that means we have to block it next turn for sure. So let's just let's see. It's gonna be a 4/2, which means that we can still double trade. But now I actually just want to sip of Hamlocket. So smack with these. Yeah, now I just want to draw the land and sip this guy. Just gonna get some lands out of the deal. Yeah, our deals are still a beating sometimes. It's just how it is. Why did we block with the Foil Omen Speaker? Should have blocked with the normal one. Yeah, this doesn't seem very relevant. Okay, there we go. Get his mofo out of here and smack with... no, we can't smack with this. Yes, this guy's reach. Let's not do that. It's just unreasonable. Now, what does he have to follow this up? Deathbellow Raiders. Okay, that's ambitious. Just gonna run straight into the Sealock monster. Or the Master of Waves for that matter. Doesn't know about that, of course. Let's go. Read the bones into land. Oh, we don't get the land? Wow. Put this on top. Put this on bottom. If you don't put it on bottom, we can draw. If you put it on top, we can play it. Yeah, I think this is worth it. I don't think he has that many burn spells. Huh. So we want this. We also kind of want this. Yeah. Let's just do it like this. Don't attack. Next time we can go Omen Speaker into Master of Waves. And I don't think there's much trample in this set. What, he has double bolt? No! We lose. Okay, yeah, we lose. Maybe shouldn't have been that greedy. But if we go for Master there and don't go for don't put him on double burn spell. I don't think this is... Yeah, we could have played that differently, but yeah. So, still okay, still gets some reasonable value out of the deal, and yeah, that's how it goes. We could have piloted it differently, but yeah, I mean, you're always smarter. You're always smarter in retrospective. So this was another Theros draft by me, Dom, for MagicGatheringStrat. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and favorite this shit. And let me know in the comments if you think I'm an idiot for playing badly, or if you find me the best Magic player alive, or something in between. And check out MagicGatheringStrat for more sweet Magic the Gathering content. Shout out to Dan and Baba and Chris and all the other guys, MagicGatheringStrat, for their trust in me as the Theros Limited guy. I hope to stick around here for a while. Can't wait for Born of the Gods, but now it's time to put the business to rest and go for the fun part, which is Cube! Yeah, Cube. So if you want me to record Cube drafts, please also let me know in the comments. But anyway, this was Dom signing off. Have a nice evening. Hope to see you guys soon. Or hope you guys to see me soon. Cheers.